Cyn-Labs transmission. There's a piece of math that quietly suggests humanity is almost out of time. No nukes, no asteroids, no angry gods, just probability, whispering that the party ends sooner than we think. It's called the doomsday argument. And if it's right, most of the humans who will ever exist have already been born. Here's the setup. Imagine every human who will ever live is lined up in a single, massive queue. From the very first Homo sapiens to the last person to ever take a breath. Now, give every human a number. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to the final person. That number is your birth rank in the story of our entire species. Roughly 100 billion humans have lived so far. That means, if you're alive today, your birth rank is somewhere in that first 100 billion. Here's where the math gets unsettling. Suppose there are only 200 billion humans total, ever. That would mean you're somewhere in the first half of the list. But suppose we stretch things out and say, no, humanity will thrive, colonize the galaxy, and trillions will live. Let's say 100,000 billion people exist in total. In that gigantic future, being in the first 100 billion is like winning a cosmic lottery. You'd be in the first 0.1% of all humans to ever exist. Statistically, that's a weirdly special position to find yourself in. The doomsday argument says, if you're supposed to be a random human in the lineup, it's way more likely you're somewhere in the middle than at the extreme, ultra-early beginning. So if your birth rank is within the first 100 billion, it's more probable that the total number of humans is closer to 200 billion than to some massive trillion-plus future. Translated out of math, the argument says it's likely that we're already pretty far along the human story, not at the opening credits, but past the midpoint. Push the numbers a bit further, and you get a more dramatic claim. Some versions say there's around a 95% chance that humans go extinct within roughly the next 10,000 years or so. Not because of one specific disaster, but because your mere existence right now is evidence that we don't have that many slots left in the human lineup. This is all built on something called anthropic reasoning. It's the idea that when you think about probability, you have to factor in the fact that you are an observer, existing at a particular point in the history you're analyzing. One version is the self-sampling assumption. It says, think of yourself as a random observer picked from all actual humans who ever live. If that's true, then being born extremely early in a gigantic human future is statistically unlikely. Under that lens, the safest bet is, most humans who will ever live already have. And the rest of us are living closer to the end than we'd like to admit. But there's another way to look at it. It's called the self-indication assumption. This one says, you should treat worlds with more observers as more likely, because there are more chances for you to exist in them at all. Under that rule, big futures with trillions of humans become more plausible, because there are more potential versions of you that could have shown up. That cancels out the early birth rank doom feeling. And that's where the fight starts. Philosophers and physicists have been arguing about this for decades. Some say the doomsday argument is a beautifully clean Bayesian update. Others say it's a statistical illusion, a trick of perspective. Critics point out that it seems to smuggle in assumptions about how to count observers. Change those assumptions, change your probability of doom. Same math, different philosophical lens, totally different level of despair. Even its supporters admit something important. The argument doesn't give a date for the end of the world. It doesn't say we're doomed next year or in 2099. It only says the total lifespan of our species is probably not astronomically huge. In some versions, there is just a 95% chance we've re-gone within about 9,000 to 10,000 years, and a 5% chance we make it far beyond that. Not certainty, just a grim betting line. But here's the paradox. If people take the doomsday argument seriously and work harder to prevent extinction, they might actually invalidate the prediction that scared them in the first place. If we push for better AI safety, better biosecurity, better climate resilience, we lower the actual risk of early extinction. That changes the underlying probabilities the argument assumes. So the doomsday argument sits in this weird space. It feels like a cosmic "you are here" sticker on the timeline of humanity, suggesting that the end is statistically closer than we want. But it might also be a glitch in how we think about observers, probabilities, and our own place in the universe. A warning that the math of doom can be as fragile as the assumptions underneath it. Here's the part that matters. Whether the argument is correct or not, we are the first generation with the tools to end ourselves, or to push the story far beyond 100 billion, into a future so large that doomsday argument looks laughably small. So the question isn't just, are we almost extinct? It's, will we let a probability curve write our ending, or will we rewrite the odds ourselves? If you enjoyed this video today and want us to cover more content like this, leave a comment and tell us what you would like to know more about. This is Zero with Cyn-Labs. Keep glitching forward.